Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path, and this is your Must Know Monday for Monday, March 9th, 2020. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful cross pendant. We're going to be using a lot of the same techniques and a lot of the same materials as we've used in the previous couple of weeks' videos with the Interstellar series. So for today's video, you're going to need 26 6mm pearls, 32 3mm pearls, 6 SS34 flat back crystals or 8mm chatons, and 1 14mm Rivoli. You're also going to need about 3 grams of a size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to use a size, you can use a 10 or a 12 beading needle, and it's going to take a little over 3 yards of 6-pound fire line to do this piece. So go ahead and get your materials together and let's get started. Alright, so here's the project I want to show you how to do today. This is my newest cross piece. This one is the Coral Pearls with a turquoise Picasso seed bead. Then I have the iridescent dark blue Swarovski pearls with the gunmetal. This is the elderberry Swarovski pearls with a mauve size 11 seed bead. And then this one is the chocolate or velvet brown pearls with a chocolate Mayuki seed bead. So today in the video I'm going to be using the Scarabus green pearls, the patina iris seed beads. Then I have my Rivoli and my luminous green SS34 flatbacks. I've started off with 3 yards of thread, and we're going to do a lot like we did in the previous couple of weeks. I'm going to start out with 8 beads, so 2, 4, 6, and 8 in my 6mm beads here. And I'm going to thread on all of these beads. And then once I get them threaded on, I'm going to drop them down and tie them into a circle. Well, I can find the hole there on that bead. Okay, one more. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to drop them down. And if you want to leave just a couple of inches of tail here, and then I'm going to tie these threads together into a circle. And while I'm doing this, the bead mat that I'm using today is by the Bead Wrangler. You can find her on Etsy. Also, I think it's the beadwrangler.com. She has a website. Okay, so I have my loop here of the 8 beads, and I'm just going to go through a bead here next to the knot. So I'm going to start out and I'm going to pick up 6 size 11 seed beads. And I'm going to take the needle. Right now my thread is coming out of the what I call the top of the bead. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to come back around, I'm going to go through that same bead again to make a circle. And I'm going to pull this through. Okay, so the beads are going to kind of sit on the outside, and I can just tilt those beads up. Then I'm going to go through 2 pearls. So 1, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the second one here. And then I'm going to pull these beads through. And then I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to pick up 6 11s. I'm going to come back through the same bead I'm coming out of to make the circle. I'm going to pull this through. And then I'm going to go through 2 beads. So 1 and 2. Okay, 6 11s. Again, I'm going to come back through the same bead I'm coming out of to make that circle. pull this through, and now through 2 beads, the 1 and 2, and then you guessed it, 6 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Come back through the same bead here to make that circle. Now I'm going to continue on through 2 more beads so that I'm going to be coming out of the bead that I originally started with. There we go. Okay, now we have to step up. So to step up, I'm going to go through the first 4 beads of the set of 6 here that I added at the very beginning. So I'm going through 4 of those beads, and then I'm going to pull the needle through. Now, because I don't like to work clockwise, I kind of like to work counterclockwise, I can just flip this up so that I'm working in this direction. But before I do that, I'm going to stop and I'm going to put a needle onto this end of the thread and stitch it through to get rid of it, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so I've got that tail thread taken care of, and I'm ready to continue on. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my 3 millimeters, and I'm coming out here. I'm going to jump across to this side, and I'm going to go through the middle 2 beads there of that set of 6. And I'm going to pull it, but I'm not going to pull it tight yet. I'm just going to pull it enough to kind of pop it into place. I'm going to pick up 2 3 millimeters. My thread is coming out here, so I'm going to jump over to here, and I'm going to go through those middle 2 beads of that next set of 6. And again, I'm not pulling it tight, I'm just popping it into place. 2 3 millimeters. Going to come over to here, and again, go through the middle 2 beads there of a set of 6. Pull that through. And now one last time, I'm going to pick up 2 beads. My thread is coming out here. I'm going to jump over to this first set that I started with and go through those middle 2 beads there of the set of 6. Now, before I pull this tight, I'm going to set my Rivoli, my 14 millimeter Rivoli in face up, and then I'm going to pull the thread tight, just like that, so it cinches everything up. Now, I want to go through and I'm going to reinforce just by going through my 3 millimeters and my set of 2 seed beads all the way around, pulling it nice and tight to hold it into place. Okay, so once you have gone all the way around, your piece will look similar to this. I am coming out of a set of my 2 seed beads here, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go down through 2 seed beads, and then I'm going to come through the very next 6 millimeter here on my round of 8. So right now I have a fun, funky, encased Rivoli. So I'm going to be using my 6 millimeters here, so I need 3 of those. I'm going to pick up 3. Well, I say I'm going to pick up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, my thread is coming out of the top of this bead here, so I'm going to take my needle. I'm going to come back through that same bead again to make a circle. Okay, so it's going to look like this now once I pull it through. Now, each one of these little right angle weave boxes, you need to reinforce it again. The reason you need to reinforce it again is because when you go back to add the seed beads on the top of this, it may pull it apart if you don't have it reinforced. So it's definitely something you don't want to skimp on and you want to take care of. And you'll notice I only go through 1 bead at a time so that everything stays nice and tight the way I need it to be. Okay, So now I'm coming out of my base bead here again. So I'm going to pick up 6 seed beads. I'm going to take the needle. I'm going to come back through the same bead that I'm coming out of so that it makes a circle here. Okay, and you'll see my beads lay right on top. Now I'm going to come through the next bead in that right angle weave box. Pick up 6 size 11 seed beads. My thread is coming out to the right, so I'm just going to take my needle and I'm going to go through that bead from left to right so that it is going to make that circle that I need. Hang on just 1 second here. I think I've got my thread caught. Okay, sorry guys, don't know how it got caught there. Okay, so I pulled it all the way through and you can see now it put a loop there. So I'm just going to go through the very next bead. Pick up 6. My thread is coming out of the bottom of the bead, so I'm going to take and come from the top to the bottom of that same bead. Okay, and then I've got one more bead to go through here. Go through this one. And again, I'm going to pick up 6 beads. I'm going to take the needle, I'm going to come back through the same bead again to make that circle. Okay, now I'm going to continue on through the bead on the base here. And then I'm going to do that step up by coming up through 4 11s of the first loop here. So I'm going to go through 4 of the 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that, and I'll pull it through. Now what I'm going to do is really similar to what we did here, except for this time I'm only going to need 4 of these 3 millimeters. So I'm going to pick up a 3 and I'm going to go to the next set of 6 and I'm going to go through those middle 2 beads of that set of 6 seed beads. I'm going to do this all the way around, and again I'm not pulling it tight, I'm just kind of popping it into place there. Pick up 1 3 millimeter. Come to my next little arch here, go through those middle 2 beads. One 3 millimeter, come to the next arch, go through those middle 2 beads. Okay, and then I got to do that one more time, so 1 more 3 millimeter, and then I'm going to come to the arch that I started with, which was this one right here. And I'm going to go through the middle 2 beads of that arch there. That's where I started. So now I have my 4 3 millimeters in place. Before I pull it tight, I'm going to use my little flat back crystal here. I'm going to drop it in place. And then I'm going to pull that thread straight out till it cinches everything up and pulls it together for the encasement. Now I'm going to go through this middle ring of beads right here a couple of times, pulling it nice and tight. Okay, so once I'm happy with how this is encased, I'm now coming out of my 2 seed beads here right above where I started. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come down through the last 2 seed beads of that set of 6 there. Then I'm going to go through the 6 millimeter that I started this step with. Okay, and now I'm going to go through the next 2 6 millimeters. So I'm going to go through this one and this one. All right, so I'm going to do the same steps now. Oh, good grief. I think I've got my thread caught again. There we go. Okay, Now I'm going to do the same thing I just did right here. I'm going to do it at this bead, at this bead, and at this bead. So I'm going to do it 3 more times. So 1, 2, and 3. So I'll have almost like an X shape. Alright, so once you get your other 3 pieces attached, this is what your piece will look like. I am coming out of the last box that I did, and I'm coming out of this end 6mm here at what I'll call the bottom. I'm going to be building the bottom part of the cross off of this. So I'm going to grab 3 more of my pearls. And we're going to basically be building the box the same way. There's just a few things that we have to change to make the box lay like we need it to. So I'm going to get my bead started on there. My thread is coming out to the bottom of that box, so I'm just going to take my needle. I'm going to come right back through it again. Okay, I'm going to reinforce the box real quick. Okay, now that the box is reinforced, I'm ready to add the seed beads. The only difference is that we're not going to put seed beads on this first bead here. So I'm going to go right next through that next 6mm, and I'm going to pick up 6 seed beads. Okay. I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to go back through the same bead again to make that circle. Go through the next 6mm. You know the drill. I'm going to pick up 6. Take my needle, come back through the bead. And then I've got to do this one more time here. Go through the next 6mm. Pick up the 6. And come back through that same bead again, so that now I have sets of seed beads on these 3 sections. Now I'm going to go through the 6mm. I'm going to call this the connecting 6mm because it's going to connect those boxes together. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come up through 4 of the seed beads here on the previous box. So I'm basically coming up out of the 2 seed beads between the 3mm here on that previous one. I'm gonna need 4 of my little 3mm here. I'm gonna pick up a 3mm. I'm gonna come to the next set of 6 and I'm gonna go through the middle 2 beads of that set of 6. Pick up 1, go through the middle 2 beads of the next set of 6, pick up 1, go through this middle bead here, the middle 2 there of my set of 6, and then I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to pick up the 1 bead. And this time I'm going to go through those middle 2 seed beads here on the previous box that I started with. This will be the connection that I need. And then I will drop the crystal in face up. Hold it in there and then pull the threads tight so that now, whoops, now the new box has been created. So I'm going to go through this little section of beads here again, and then I'm going to come out of this bead and I'm going to do one more box exactly like I just made this one. Alright, so when you get your last box finished, you will have the premonition or the shape of your cross that you have here. So here is the deal. if you want to, you can leave the cross just like this, and you do not have to have an edging if you don't want to. I did really enjoyed the edging once I got it done all the way around on the first piece that I did. So it's completely up to you if you want to do the edging or not. If you do not want to do the edging, you just kind of need to skip to what some of the last steps that I do in this, where we're going to be doing a little bit of work here in the center. But I am going to put the edging on this one. So I'm coming out of the last pearl here at the bottom of my cross, and at this point all I should have left are my seed beads. So I'm going to pick up 6 seed beads. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to come right back through the same pearl that I'm coming out of so that it makes a circle. And right now it's going to look like I don't have enough seed beads here, but you will, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think I'll flip it over this way so it'll be a little bit easier to see. So now I'm going to pick up 111 and I'm going to go right through the next pearl. Pick up 6 11s. Come back through the same bead you're coming out of to make the circle. Then you want to pick up 111 and go straight through the next pearl. Okay. 6 11s. I'm going to come back through the same bead again here to make that circle. Pick up 111 and go through the next bead. Now I'm going to do this set of 6 one more time here. And right now these are going to be floppy. That's okay. We'll fix that in some of the last steps that we'll do. And I'm going to come back through the same bead to make the circle. Now this is where it's going to change up just a little bit. I'm going to pick up 3 11s. And I'm coming out of this 6mm. I'm going to jump over to this 6mm, and I'm just going to go straight through it. So let me get my needle through here. Well, there we go. Okay, so I've skipped this one and I'm coming straight through this next one. So what happens is it kind of makes a little loop of seed beads here. So now I'm going to pick up 5 and I'm going to come through the 1 seed bead closest to that pearl, and then I'll come through the pearl. And once you get it pulled, you'll see there that it pulls kind of everything together for you. Now 111, come through the next 6mm. I'm going to thread on 6 beads. Come back through the bead I'm coming out of to make that circle. Pick up 111, come through the next pearl. Now it's 6 seed beads. And I'm going to come back through the same one I'm coming out of to make that circle. Now this is where, and I'm going to go ahead and do this here, I'm going to come up through 1 bead. and I'm going to pick up 3, and I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to jump across over here. Now 5, I'm going to go through the 1 bead there, and then, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that through, and then I'll go through the 6 millimeter, so that connects that together. Well, if I can get through it there. There we go. Okay, so now you can see that kind of pulls that all together. Okay, now pick up 111, go through this top bead here. Now this one we're going to do a little different. We're going to do 7 11s here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'm putting 7 on here so that way I can add my bell. So do that, come back through it. Okay, so it's going to look just like that. And now I'm going to work down the other side. So pick up 111, go through the next 6 millimeter. Now 6, and then I'm going to go through 1 bead there of that set of 6. Now 3 11s, skip this bead and come across to this one. Okay, this time I'm going to put on 5. I'm going to come through the 1 bead there. And then through the 6 millimeter. Pick up 111, go through the next 6 millimeter. Now I've got 6. Go back through the same bead again. One. 6. Okay, and then I'm going to go through 1 bead there of that set of 6. And I actually think I forgot to do that right there. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 3 11s. Remember, I'm going to skip this and come across over here. There we go. Okay, so now it looks like that. Now I want 5. I'll go through the 111 closest there to the 6 millimeter, and then through the 6 millimeter. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull that through. Now it's 1, 6, 1. Oh, last pearl. Yay. 6. And then, I bet you guessed it, we're going to put on 1 and go through this first pearl that we started with. Okay, so now when you look at it, you have the it all the way around, but the thing is, you've got some spaces around there. So what you want to do now is you want to take your needle. I'm not going to be going through like the middle ones here and here, but I'm just going to take my needle and I'm going to come around and go through all these outer beads again to reinforce them and connect everything and kind of pull everything together. Okay, so I've gone all the way around my piece and you can see everything is much more connected and looks better now that you've gone through and you've reinforced it again. So I have stitched through the beads now to come out of my 2 seed beads right here under a set of 2 pearls in the center. And I hope that you can see that good right there in between those. So I'm coming out to the right of those 2 beads. Now at this point your piece is still kind of floppy, and what we're fixing to do is going to fix that. So I'm picked up 2 11s, and again my needle is coming out here. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through these 2 11s here in the center between my sets of 3 millimeters. Then I'm going to pick up 2 11s. My thread is coming out right here, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come through and go through the 2 seed beads right here between the set of 2 beads here and right under that set. And you can see it's making a little line of seed beads there. Now 2 11s. I'm coming out right here. I'm going to jump to this next set of 2 seed beads in the center and go through there. And as you pull, you'll see here I put beads here and here, so it kind of pulled it together more. 2 11s. I'm coming out here. I'm going to come up to this set of 2 seed beads here. Pull that. 2 11s, and I'm going to come across this next set of seed beads in the center. Two 11s and come to the next set of 2. Well, there we go. 2 11s and come through this set in the center, and then I'm going to be adding my last 2 11s here and come through this middle set there that I started with. So once you pull it now, the piece is not flimsy whatsoever, and you can see my sets of beads there and how it pulled everything together. So now I'm going to try to get my needle through the beads because I need to come out here to add the bell. So I'm going to try to stitch back up through there. Sometimes it's pretty tight and you can't get the needle through. So you just kind of have to do what you got to do there. There we go. The hardest part at this point is you've pretty much got the thing complete and you get the thread caught real easy. Okay, so I'm going to go through my 2 beads there, through my 2 center ones, then I'm going to go around and I'm going to go through the 3 millimeter, the 2 11s right after it, then through my 2 11s. I'm going to flip it to the back so that we can see here. I'm going to go through the pearl, and then I'm going to go through 4 beads of the 7 here on top. So 1, 2, 3, oh no, sorry, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, I'm going through 5. There we go. Ah, needle come out. Give me 1 second here. Going through 5 of the 7. Sorry guys, my brain is a little fried. It's a Saturday afternoon and I just got done teaching 2 classes and okay, so I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I still have 2 beads here. Now this is where we're going to do some odd count peyote, and it's a little funky. I actually learned this bell from Leslie Pope. It's supposed to be a ring band that she did, and I really enjoyed it, so I used it as a bell. So my needle is coming out of this bead here, and I'm only going to be concerned with this set of 3 11s here on the top. So just those 3 beads is all I'm concerned about. I'm picking up 1 bead. I'm going to skip the bead I'm coming out of, and I'm going to go back through the previous 2 beads. Okay, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in here a little bit. There we go. So you can see I went back through the previous 2 beads. So when I pull that thread, you'll see the bead that I just added sits on top of that bead that I skipped. So now I'm going to pick up 1 bead. Again, I'm going to skip the bead I'm coming out of, and I'm going to come back through the 2 beads at a diagonal. So I'm going to go through this, well, let me do it this way. This bead and the bead I was originally coming out of. So I'm not going through this top bead yet, just those 2 beads. So when I pull it, now you'll see it put that bead in place. I'm going to step up by going through the bead right above the one that I'm coming out of. I'm going to pick up 1 bead, and I'm going to go straight across through the bead right across from it. Okay, so that puts me a little line of 3 there. I'm going to pick up 1 bead. I'm going to skip the one I'm coming out of, and I'm going to come back through 2 beads. So when I pull it, you'll see now, got a bead sticking up there. Now I'm going to pick up 1, and now this is where I'm going to come, I'm skipping the one I'm coming out of, and I'm going to go back through 2 beads at a diagonal. So through the middle one and the last one of that row. I'm going to pull this through, and when I do, now you'll see that I have my 2 beads there. So I'm going to step up by going through the bead right above where I'm coming out. Okay, I'm going to pick up 1 bead, and I'm going to come straight across. So now I have my little bump of 3 beads there. So again, I pick up 1, I skip the one I'm coming out of, and I'm going to go through the 2 of that row there. And when I pull it, you'll see there that that bead sits right on top. Now I pick up 1 bead. I'm skipping the one I'm coming out of. Get my bead on there, and this is where I'm going to come back through 2 at that little diagonal, like I'm making a figure 8. Set it on top there. Okay, I'm going to go through the bead right above where my thread's exiting. Okay, I'm going to hold it at a different angle now, so if you didn't see it good the first way, maybe you'll see it this way. So I'm going to pick up a bead, and I'm going to go straight through. So that's my little bump of 3. So I pick up 1, I skip the one I'm coming out of, and I'm going to come back through the previous 2 there. Pick up 1, and this is where I'm going to go through the 2 at the diagonal, like this. Okay, then I'm going to come right through the bead, right above where my thread's coming out. And I'm going to continue this for a few more rows until I reach a bell size that I like. You can see here, let me stick this through so you can see. So you can kind of see here the size loop that I'm talking about. It's not a very big loop. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's got basically what we call 16 rows. This one's a little bit bigger. Okay, so I could almost get the tip of my tulip all through there. So you'll just want to keep going until you reach the desired length. Okay, so I've reached the length that I want, and you can see I finished with a bead sticking up here on each end, because now I'm not going to fold it over yet, because I want you to be able to see it. We're going to work basically the same way, but I'm going to use this bead here, this middle bead, as the bead that I would be adding for that row. So I'm going to go through the one bead there in the middle. I'm going to pull that, and now before I pull it all the way through, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this bead here on the end, so you can see there which beads that I'm going through, so that when I pull it, it'll look something like this. Now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come right down through these 3 beads here at the bottom. And then I'm going to come through the bead here, the first bead on the side, through that middle bead again, and then through the last bead of the row. And then it's just a matter of reinforcing the bell. That little bead right there is a tough little cookie to get into. There we go. Okay, I've gone through those beads, and now it's just a matter of going through, and I'm going to reinforce this connection a couple of times, and then I'm going to tie off that thread. So now you can see the completed pendant that I showed you how to do today. This is the Scarabus green, the dark blue, and the brown that we will have kits for on our website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com.